Greetings, this is M squared, and today we're going to talk about what makes an equation linear. Remember, an equation is some expression that has an equal sign in it, and there's different types of equations. So to find out what a linear equation is, remember that it will always have an x or a y, but most of the time you see it, it will have both. So if it just had an x, it would look like x equals 3, or x equals -4, or x equals 1/2. If it just had a y, it would look like x equals 2, or x equals -7, or x equals y equals 1/3, something like that with just a y. But more often than not, you'll see them looking like this. That's a y. This would be considered in standard form. Sometimes you see them like this, which is called slope-intercept form. But there's all sorts of ways to write linear equations, but remember, you can have an x or a y or both. So you could have 2x equals 3y minus 6. That's still a linear equation. Well, things that are not linear equations are things that x and y are multiplied, or they have an exponent on them, or a square root, or an absolute value. Some of these things. So if I said y equals 1 over x minus 3, that's not a linear function because x is in the denominator, and you can't have x or y in the denominator and for it to be a linear equation. Neither can you have like y equals 3 to the x, where you still have a y and an x, but the x is the exponent. Can't have that either for a linear equation. This is an exponential equation. So y equals x squared plus 3x. This is a quadratic equation. You can't have x squared. You can only have a plain old x. You couldn't have a y equals the square root of x something. Nor could you have 3 equals x times y. This is important. You can't have an x times y for it to be linear. So these are some of the things to look out for when you're deciding if things are linear or not, equations are linear or not. Remember, you can just have a plain old x plus or minus a plain old y. You can have one of them or both of them. But if you have both, there needs to be a plus or a minus sign, or that separates them, or they need to be on opposite sides of that equal sign. Good luck finding out if your equations are linear. M squared signing out.